I don't have very far to go, thank goodness. Most accidents happen within 5 miles of home, and I'd say a lot of that happens because you don't have a properly secured load and you're not going to make it that far. So welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's another day. It's a beautiful day. It's starting to get cooler outside. We're done with the super hot weather, and I can relax and really get some work done, at least for a little bit, till the cold weather sets in. But I really don't mind the cold weather compared to that brutal heat. The heat's definitely what gets me. But it does add a little bit of urgency because I'd like heat turned on inside, before it gets too cold. Otherwise I risk further damage to the plumbing system especially. So, well, it is nice out though. I got a couple outside tasks I want to take care of. Let's have a look at those. So this has been sitting a while and it's really been weighing on me. It's certainly been weighing on the trailer. I have to get this taken in. It's been way too long at this point. So we have more than one load here, so I'm going to get this trailer strapped down as it is. A couple things I might remove from it. That tubing is actually kind of useful. That was mostly just put up there to get it out of the way. So I'm going to get this secured, everything else set aside and ready to go. I kind of want this out of the way. I got other purposes for the trailer, other stuff to move around, and I'm planning to bring this out tomorrow morning. So the other task I plan on taking care of today is this sidewalk has to be removed. I mean, not only is it pitched back towards the house, it's in the way when I want to go and get this graded. So this has to go, and it's better to get it done now. We also want to take care of some of this overgrowth and, maybe get it looking a little bit nicer back here because it's pretty unsightly and it's a pain to work around. I know Xana's been taking care of a lot of the yard maintenance, and things like that make it incredibly difficult to do that. So it helps both of us getting it done out of the way and also taking care of it while the weather's good. It's a lot easier to control the climate inside than it is out. So when you got nice outside climate, it's definitely the time to make sure you're utilizing it as best as possible. So for those of you who are new to the channel, we bought a hoarder house and we're restoring it back to being a family home. We plan on moving in here when it's all said and done, and we've still got a little ways to go. But if you want to see what it looked like, go ahead and check out some of our previous videos, especially the earlier ones. I know we were definitely a lot more, say, amateurish when we did those videos. We were very new to YouTube. We were figuring things out. And we're definitely a little more experienced at this point. So, but if you really want to see where this all started and what it looked like, I know it's a bit of an adventure for me when I look back on it, just to see where we started, because I'm in the midst of it. So as I make changes, I mean, I'm kind of acclimated to them as I go. So it's hard even for me to imagine where we first started. So go ahead and check those out. And as always, like, share, subscribe. It goes a long way to help the channel, and we really appreciate it. So let's get to it. Gonna take a brief detour. I got some of my equipment coming in. I forgot that was this morning, so I gotta go receive this. So this is it. So this is my machine. I've had her for 6 or 7 years now. Maybe not that long, maybe 5 or 6. 5 years. No, 6 years. Something around there. It's a 2001 Genie lift. This thing, it's a lot of maintenance, but man, this is a great helper on site. As a siding installer, and especially as a siding installer who operated in Ontario prior to this, it was a big game changer getting that in. It's much easier to comply with OSHA or over their CSA standards. So I keep that thing alive, and it keeps me alive. So I got to do a bunch of maintenance on it, and I figured while it was here, I'd get some of the necessary tree trimming done with it, just because it's a lot easier and it saves me from having to get the climbing gear out. So we'll get to that eventually, but let's get back to loading this trailer up. So to do this, I summoned a little bit of my inner Boy Scout. So it's a 100-foot line that I used, and it does have a little bit of stretch. Now, it's not usually ideal for strapping down a load. This is really just a helper. I'm going to have ratchet straps on it before I go. The reason I wanted this is because the load is actually going to settle a little bit as I drive. And as it settles, I want that stretch to sort of compensate for anything that might happen. I don't have very far to go, thank goodness. Most accidents happen within 5 miles of home, and I'd say a lot of that happens because you don't have a properly secured load and you're not going to make it that far. So at any rate, I'm going to show you one of the advantages of the knot I used and why I didn't have to cut down my 100-foot line to make this happen, because that's a bit of a pet peeve of mine, is, you know, getting a line and you got to make a bunch of cuts. So I'll just show you what I did there, and maybe I'll go over one of these knots because I got another rope I'm going to throw on before I get it ready to throw the ratchet strap on. So this is a trucker's hitch line, I think it's called, if I recall. So one of the difficulties of tying a rope is getting good tension. So this actually loosened off. This is the first segment I did, and because of the way I tied it on, these are basically individual segments. They have a lead that sort of connects them, but if one were to break, the rest of it will still hold. That's why I like doing it this way. So I got to tighten this one up. It did settle right away. I kind of expected that. So all I have to do there is pull this apart, and I can tighten it back up. And all you have to do when you tighten it is give it a little pinch, and then you can secure that back down. And I usually just take my slack and tie it up a little bit to keep it neat. And that's easy to do, and I can do that as I go. As I'm driving, I can stop and tighten everything back up. All these leads, and got plenty of slack to work with. So for these, I just That should be down. Yeah. So I kind of just throw an extra loop in as I go. That's how I connect in. And because it is stretchy, even if it settles a little bit, it'll still hold a bit. And like I said, it's not ideal for transporting, but this is just a helper. So let's get that other line started, and then I'm going to see if I got another tarp for the back. Otherwise, I could probably secure this as it is. It's not the end of the world. So we're just going to zoom in on this for a second and I'll show you. So, like I said, this is just a helper. Going to help keep the tarp down, help keep everything a little bit in place, especially when I go to ratchet strap it down. It's very annoying when you use the ratchet straps and it shifts things. So this will help prevent a bit of that. So this might get a little annoying. I'm going to need a little extra support in the back when I get to it, but this next one here might help things out a bit. So the first thing you do is you're going to go in and twist, and then you want to grab the line you're connected to, and I'll just show you. If you twist, and you try grabbing the this line here behind where you're tying, it just wants to pull it out. So you want to turn it, grab the line that you're in the direction of your knot. So pull that, and I actually want a bit more. I don't want to do it there. You always want to grab enough meat because it does stretch. So once you have it like that, you're just going to loop around your anchor point and thread through. Once you have it like that, you just pull it as hard as you want to. I add a little bit more rope there just to help keep it, but you can pull it as hard as you want, really. That just depends on how strong your rope is. And then you pinch it, and that'll keep it. And we got a really nice tension there. So then you're going to go around, grab enough, and that's done. Then you just got to deal with the slack. And you want to make sure your slack is dealt with, because if it does pull, that's how you take it apart. Because when I get there to take this apart, all I have to do after I disconnect this, and this is nothing really, you can let these dangle, I just don't like doing that. All I have to do is pull this and the whole thing just comes apart. I'm just going to add another little eyelet here. I'm going to use the slack to help secure the tarp just a little bit more. Just grab it in an eyelet or something and pull it down. It's just extra. Doesn't really matter that much. I don't want to grab it there anyway. I'll deal with that in a sec. It doesn't matter yet. But yeah, so that's a trucker's hitch line, I believe it's called. I might be wrong about that. Correct me in the comments down below if you if either that's the right name or if you know the right name. So that's well enough for right now. I'll finish securing it when I get the ratchet straps. I guess I left those at home. I didn't bring them with me. I need the heavy duty long straps to secure that properly, and at least 4 of them. So that is a handy knot if you can get it figured out and well practiced. So I learned that. I used to be a glazer. Spent a couple years doing that. I was mostly a window and door installer, but the company also did commercial glazing. So I got to work on that quite a bit as well. And one of the old men who worked there showed me how to tie down loads with rope. And the reason that was handy when transporting glass is, first of all, ratchet straps, they can be very aggressive, and we usually want a softer grip when we're transporting things like glass. And it's also nice to anchor it at multiple points. So we would use a lot of rope, and we would tie it down softly with, and we wouldn't tie it down quite as hard as you would with a ratchet strap, where you just keep cranking until it's tight. And it was a combination of that and a couple other techniques, but I got to learn how to tie down a load a little more securely there. Now this load is obviously not secure yet. All I really have is everything on in the position I kind of want it in, and tarps over it. So I'll get that just before I take it away. It's not going to be a big deal from here. So now continuing on outside here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to rip this sidewalk out. And I got to do something about these steps. So I'm probably just going to pull that back and put it back when I'm done. I don't know yet. We'll figure that out. It's not a big deal. But I'm also going to be removing this post and this tree thing that's been growing in here. It's a real pain getting that out just because it is grown kind of into the sidewalk and everything else. But I know since day one, Xana has been determined to see this go. She's dug this down a couple times, ripped out a bunch of the roots, and you know, of all the things she's trying to tackle as far as her first tree stump to try to remove, that's probably one of the worst ones. So we're gonna get that. By the time this concrete's out, it's gonna be well exposed and easy to remove. So for this, we got some of the regular hand tools I would typically use for a job like this. I don't know where my pickaxe went, but this one was left behind from the previous homeowner. And shovel, sledge, pinch bar. And that's all we're going to be using to remove this sidewalk. So it's not going to be that hard of a job, and it's just plug away at it and it'll come free. Kid's toys hanging out in the wrong spot. All right, now that tree beard is no longer guarding the house, I'm going to start putting this all back together, and I won't have it properly graded. I'm going to get a machine in for that, but I'm going to get it roughly graded anyway with the loose soil I have available. So the first thing I'm going to do, because eventually this is going to get resurfaced with something hard, I may be using those patio stones I have over there. Maybe concrete, I don't know. We haven't really talked much about it, but because it is getting buried, it's a nice opportunity to deal with this ground here. So this is some pretty contaminated dirt. There's all kinds of stuff in it. So I'm going to pull that forward, level it out along the bottom, and then I'm going to put some of the nicer soil on top of that. And it'll keep it covered well enough until it gets its finish over top. So obviously that's a pretty rough grade, but that gets it much closer. And before I do any finish on here, I'm not seeding this or anything. This is going to get some kind of a hard surface. And when I go to do that, I'm probably going to have to bring it down a little bit or throw some other aggregate on top regardless. So I'm not going to spend too much time leveling it out. For right now, it's now pitching away from the house, so it's not going to hold water there. And it's good to go. So I'm going to add the steps back in and we'll see where we go from there.